there must have been some challenges that you would have faced. Can you just talk to us about that?
When I just decided, I'm going to open a South Indian restaurant.
Right.
And the first thing I went about doing was finding people who could cook South Indian food.
Right.
I'm not a cook myself. Once we got them, we did a few trials, but 7 days right before opening, all 4 of them vanished, which was a big setback because now we don't have any cooks. We have a restaurant which is ready to open.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Leadership Lessons. I'm your host, Yatin Naik, business head at HT Smartcast, and I'm excited to be with you all here. This is a special episode brought to you by Dosa Coffee. Today, our guest is Siddhant Dalmia, the founder of Dosa Coffee. Siddhant's journey from a computer science graduate in US to a successful entrepreneur is truly inspiring. He started Dosa Coffee with a vision to serve simple yet flavorful South Indian food. Under his leadership, the brand has grown to 22 operational outlets in Kolkata and Delhi NCR and 5 more in the pipeline. His innovative approach includes running multiple formats such as food trucks, kiosks, and casual dining, catering to a diverse customer base. Welcome to Leadership Lessons.
Thank you for having me here.
Great. So, you've done graduation from US in computer science, right? And now you are a founder of a Dosa coffee chain. Tell us about this journey. Why Dosa and coffee?
So, I get that question a lot. So I did do my engineering. I used to love it. And when I came back here, it was always my deep-rooted passion to get into food or a food-related industry where I was maybe building a small chain, standardizing something. That is what computers do, right? They're putting in a process, making things scalable. I want to do the same thing with food, and I realized you could. I did not start or think of South Indian at first, but it just so happened the first place where we opened, where I was planning on opening my restaurant was family owned. I come from a traditional Marwari family, and I was given 2 constraints. The first one was we couldn't serve liquor. The other one was we couldn't serve non-veg. And after thinking a lot, I came up with, the only thing we could come up with was a South Indian, and I was like, why not?
Right.
Let's build a chain which, is hygienic, which is standardized, and let's see how it goes.
All right.
So that's how we got into, building Dosa Coffee.
Right.
And yeah, it's been a super journey.
Very interesting. Everything works in constraints, and you worked in this constraint and figured out what you want to do. But you know what? The other question that comes to my mind, therefore, is, Dosa Coffee is not a new concept, right? I mean, there are umpteen of them, Therefore, what sets you apart, and how did you think about, building this business?
So I think that's exactly why I started it, because it was not something new.
Right.
Our name says it all. People are not confused about what we are doing. The whole idea was to be focused,
right?
Build a chain which is all over India. Right now we are just in 2 cities. We are planning on building more.
Right.
But the whole idea was to serve food which is hygienic.
Right.
People know exactly what they're going to get. As simple as dosa and idli, right? You find it in every corner, every city, every street. But there was no one place where that every 365 days a year when you come in, you're going to get clean, good food, as extremely simple, but flavorful, and you'll not go wrong ever.
True.
And of course, you'll not fall sick. It's fermented food. You need to be very careful, because things can go wrong. The temperatures our country sees, it is very easy for batter to over-ferment and things like that. So we got all those processes in place, standardize our food, focus on a menu. So, interestingly, when I was researching Delhi, 95% of food chains serving dosa and idli were, multi-cuisine. And rightly so, right? Rents are high, people coming in, they want variety.
Right.
But I always stuck to the fact, and I always believed that if you're focused and we give people, standard products,
Right.
they are not going to be looking for other things.
Other things, yeah.
And that's how That's what sets us apart, I feel. We are focused on South Indian food, making sure that it's clean, standardized, and you get the same thing again and again.
Absolutely. Simple, clean business.
Correct.
Okay, let's turn our attention to the business and your own entrepreneurship journey. Setting up a business, any business, and especially a restaurant business, is tough, right? And you come from an entrepreneurship family, you come from a business family, but there must have been some challenges that you would have faced. Can you just talk to us about that?
So yes, there were a lot of challenges. One which particularly stands out was right at the beginning. So when I just decided, I'm going to open a South Indian restaurant,
Right.
and the first thing I went about doing was finding people who could cook South Indian food.
Right.
I'm not a cook myself. So once we got them, we did maybe a few trials, but 7 days right before opening, all 4 of them vanished. Which was a big setback because now we don't have any cooks. We have a restaurant which is ready to open. So yeah, I mean, that was difficult. I was like, this is not going to happen. And I was like, but we can't stop here.
Right.
We are too deep into it. We
Right.
need to get out there again. So we went out again to find people, to find chefs, got them to, start cooking again. And then we realized there were so many things I had to learn myself. So, what the cooking processes are like. Because the people we got, they worked at restaurants and these different places where they've worked with a very different mindset. Where, you had to just serve a plate of idli or just another dosa. Where I was trying to build something or make something which stood out. It was simple, the same product standing out. And I think that happened only because, we wanted to get processes and discipline into whatever we were doing. So, yeah, getting them to understand where I'm coming from, the kind of mindset I want them to have, putting them in that mindset was something which was very challenging. But we did it step by step. And I think that's how we, got started with Dosa Coffee. But this is one of the problems. Like there were so many more. Building the restaurant, we built the wrong kitchen to begin with.
What's that story?
Yeah, so because we started, and I was never in favor of consultants. There were a lot of consultants out there telling me, we will design the kitchen for you and we'll do everything. I was like, I don't think this doesn't seem right, because I don't have a single dosa or a coffee joint which I would like to go to, except for the street side ones where there is practically no design. So I was like, I have to do it myself, and let's see how it goes. So I heard people out when I got them to my kitchen, that exactly what they need. We put some equipment together, and later on we realized, we can do much better, which I still think, right? It's an ever evolving process. So, you want to keep bettering it. But yeah, we designed the wrong kitchen. We started off with the wrong kitchen, and over time we fixed it. Our tawas became bigger. We are wasting a lot of space, which, we made it useful and functional with storage and refrigeration and a bunch of other things. So yeah, so right from getting people, design, understanding your customer, you perceive your customer in a certain way, but they're very different. They might think differently, so you have to keep listening to them. That's what we learned. Strong feedback loops was something which we went wrong with. We didn't have a feedback loop.
Okay.
Where I was thinking, what I think of food and the way I think the customer is going to like it is the only way, which wasn't. So, I mean, there was learning at every step, which we enjoyed, we failed, we learned, and I think, that did good to us. It brought us to this place and maybe take us further.
So you started almost out of college, right? This business. And restaurant business especially is a very people business, right? Whether it's your own team, it's the external stakeholders, you have to really, lead people. What has been your leadership style, and what do you think has worked for you so far?
I feel, the way we built Dosa Coffee, I built Dosa Coffee was, I gave a lot of freedom. I created a place where people felt valued, empowered. I think that went a long way. I think I've learned from, right from the person who heads our operations to right from the utility worker who's maybe washing dishes. We've learned from everyone. They had points of view we valued. I think that took us a very long way in our designing, in the way we function, as a restaurant, how we manage our customers. So yeah, I think, everyone had a voice. Everyone has a voice in Dosa Coffee. And that has always been my leadership style. And hopefully, that benefits us.
Right. Interesting. And how do you keep them motivated day in and day out? Anything unique that you...
So, I feel when we are working together and things work out, we see growth, we see things going right. That is the best form of motivation for them as well. But, when they see that I am invested in their growth, they don't go anywhere. I mean, they get aligned with your vision. They understand exactly where we are going. They feel the difference, right? They worked in other places, and when they work at a Dosa Coffee or you're working together, they feel the difference. They know, this place is something different, where they are heard, and where they are, they are valued, and they can grow. Sky's the limit.
Right. And how are you guys structured in terms of, how do you look at the organization? Who heads what? Like, how is the overall management structure here?
So, it's fairly simple. As I said, we are a bootstrapped company. We are a very small team, right, managing Dosa Coffee. So, largely how we have structured it is, there is one department looking for locations, which is the most important thing, right, in the restaurant business. Right. The second group, the second department is where they are building on the restaurants according to exactly, how we want them to be. And the third department is people running them.
Right.
So, but, as I said, there are other departments as well. So, marketing, auditing, accounts and finance. But since, we are limited in number, we are multi-acting. A lot of people have multiple responsibilities. So, yeah, that's how we are structured.
Yeah. And let's come to the challenges, Siddhant. I'm sure as an entrepreneur, first-time business, getting into businesses must have been personally challenging, right? So talk us about some of the key ones that you face.
The biggest ones being, firstly, understanding your customer and listening to your customer. I think in the beginning, I was trying to, go out there and tell customers exactly what they want, which was on them, you added America, which did work for a bit, but then I realized I also have to listen to them and understand exactly what their requirements are. We did tweak a little bit. But, I come from the philosophy of Steve Jobs, where he says that, people don't know what they want. You have to give them, you're going to get them with your best product and then see who sticks around. So that's exactly what I did. So, we went out there, we gave them a product, and then after that, we started listening to them. What are the minor changes or tweaks they would like in the product we have made, which we can serve to them. So, that was one of the mistakes. The other ones were challenges. I wouldn't say a mistake, challenge. The other challenges were, finding your second location, your third location, because the first location we opened was a hit.
Oh,
right. And now the second one was, the question in my head was, is it a one-store wonder, or do you, does the same thing happen in the second one? So the second one we opened didn't do as well at all. That was that. So that was inside a mall, one of the malls in Kolkata, but it didn't do well. But that didn't demotivate me. That taught me that, your food can work in some places and might not work in other places. And so location is thus extremely important. So one of the challenges was, location finding. The third was building a team, building a good team, right? So it was, good people don't want to come to you because they're like, you're too small. You're working at maybe a Domino's or a KFC, and you're already established. We don't even know if you have a future, how long you last. So convincing people, letting them know that, this is a journey where, it is a risk. There's no doubt. Even I don't know what tomorrow looks like, but I know what today looks like. And, convincing them to, join and be on your boat and sail through the storm.
So if you were to look back to this 5-year journey and when, relive that, what are some things that you might want to change?
Nothing. I wouldn't want to change anything because every part, every challenge, every mistake we made, I think it taught us something. And if I wouldn't go through them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I wouldn't change anything about my journey. I wish to go through, similar journeys again and again, maybe building other brands after Dosa Coffee. But I mean, every bit of it was important. It taught me something or the other every time.
What are your future plans? How are you looking at this market expanding?
So I feel for any brand, especially for the regional cuisine.
Right.
The sky is the limit.
Right.
Things are growing.
Right.
People are getting more aware. People are more health conscious. People are looking for quality. So I feel we can open a Dosa Coffee in every locality, every neighborhood in the country. I want to be the the dosa neighborhood dosa shop where people go for their light vegan. Actually our cuisine is also vegan.
Okay.
If you don't use ghee, which is obviously optional, additional, the entire cuisine is vegan, vegetarian. So yeah, it's a light, quick meal. So that's the idea, right? To be at every neighborhood, be that option and our cuisine doesn't have bread. So carbs are already limited. So it's going to be the healthier option among the other options available.
But do you also talk about this in your messaging?
We actually, right now, there are two things we've done.
Right.
Our entire menu is vegetarian, but I have never ever advertised our brand as vegetarian or vegan. Is because we wanted to see if that even makes a difference. We have people coming in again and again. So we don't want make it sound like we are a restaurant only for vegetarian people. We are not. We are for everyone. So even if you enjoy non-vegetarian food, you're going to love Dosa Coffee because when you come, you're not going to miss the non-vegetarian stuff. So yeah, and I believed in this, and especially because we were from Calcutta, majority of the population is non-vegetarian. So yeah, I think we stuck to it from day one here in Delhi as well. That we are going to be we are never going to label ourselves as vegetarian or vegan. We are vegetarian and vegan, but we just don't want vegetarians to come. We want everyone to come to our restaurant.
Absolutely. You don't want to get bracketed.
Correct.
And what about expansion in other parts of the country?
So yeah, there are so many options, and so the idea is in the next 3 years we be in all the northern states. The southern states, of course, they already have a lot of dosa shops, and they're opening new ones every day. But I feel in northern India there is still a gap where we can fill it. So hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years we cover all the states up north.
Right.
And let's see how it goes.
What would be your message to budding entrepreneurs, budding people who have ideas, who want to, get into startups? What would you
So I feel, two things which worked most for me, and I feel they're very important, is persistence. You have to be persistent. A lot of people are not going to believe in you. Maybe on day one, maybe even when you're in your, the 1,000th day. But you need to be persistent. You need to believe in what you're doing, and also be a humble learner throughout your journey. So I feel, as I said before as well, I've learned from my utility worker to, the most senior members of my team. You have to have the humility to learn from everyone, and that's going to take you a very long way.
Right.
So I believe in persistence and learning. You have to be a learner.
Right. Great. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and great insights, and all the best for your entrepreneurship journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Yatin.
Thanks, Siddhant.
Thank you.